Juju gang, half seconds late here. I hope everyone's doing well. Let me know if my audio is coming in clear. Okay. We got an epic stream lined up here. We got, of course, a lot to talk about. If you've been living under a rock, you haven't heard, Tesla has massively dropped prices, but kind of sort of back to where they were. I'm going to touch on that. Let's touch about margins, or let's touch about margins. Let's talk about margins and touch on maybe a pre-earnings preview, preview prior to this print. Let's talk about Jim Cramer and his thoughts about CNBC. Let's talk also about a brand new kind of announcement after talking about last week's merch ideas. I have a little surprise for you guys baked in. Okay, so first, I want to ask if you guys want to throw in the chat where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country. I'll read some of those places out. Thanks for everyone for joining me on a nice Friday. Tesla didn't crash today. Let's just put it that way. I thought Tesla was going to crash. Let me know in the comments what your expectations were, but I was like negative 5% move was baked in. Digital, how's it going? Tesla's pushing into the close, into the green today. Okay, I got the Juju on hand here. I'm going to peel it now. Do we close green? Hopelessly optimistic. I am one of you today. Mimi, how's it going from Sweden? Marco, our awesome mods. Tesla margin. Yes, we'll talk about that. 2-week delay. I'm here from Yuma, Arizona. How's it going, Scott? I've only seen one other Tesla. Really? Interesting. Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you. I'm coming in clear. Appreciate that. Yes, ripping the Band-Aid off. And trust me, we'll get into all of that news here in a second. Derek, how's it going, my friend? I live under a rock. Me too. Cupertino. Cindy, how's it going from Australia? Must be pretty, is it late or early? Early there, right? Missouri, Denmark, NOLA, Slovakia, very nice. New Smyrna Beach. Hopefully I didn't butcher that completely. Snowy Ottawa. I feel that. Atlanta, Amsterdam, of course, Naples, Redondo Beach. Man, I'm sorry. I'm just not great with the names right now. Ontario, Austria. V says change the name of the channel to hit that ask. Good juju. Yes, maybe we turn around and the Fed pivots the day I do that. Leduc, Alberta, thanks for joining. Snowy, Toronto. Paul from Danbury, Sweden, London, Ontario, Utah, Calgary. I'll try to power through these. Mannheim, Germany. How's it going, Paco? From South Carolina, Ireland. I thought we closed green today. I hope we'll see. Coovertown, green. A lot of you guys saying green today. Ireland, Wisconsin, Chicago, Vancouver. Andy, how's it going? Local here. Germany, Sweden, Cupertino. Damn, I'm late. Don't worry, you're not late. We're all good. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? Man, we got people from everywhere. It's hard to give shout outs in the beginning, in the first 4 or 5 minutes here, but I tried. There we go. Okay, so 121.05 sitting on Tesla. Let's pull up. And by the way, sitting on Tesla is the key phrase of the day. That's all I'll say for now. Stick around for what that means. Okay, so in case you missed it, breaking news last night. This is courtesy of Sawyer Merritt here. Tesla's reduced their car prices massively in the US. Actually, hold on. Let me just make sure that chat is pulled up here and it's properly done. Let's see here. I don't want it to be just a little gong show. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that one later. Whatever. I will fix it later. Okay, screw it. So Model 3 Standard Range Plus is down 6.4%. The Performance is down 14.2%. The Model Y Long Range is down 20%. 20%, folks. Model Y Performance is down 23%. Now, this one is interesting. This is the only one where I'm like, why not just reduce it by another 2,000 and qualify for the tax credit at this point? Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Sawyer goes on to say this means that the long-range Model Y qualify for the 7.5 thousand EV tax credit. This is a huge drop, but I also tweeted right after that. I said, for context, and this is Canadian dollars, so take that with a grain of salt. We got our Model 3 in December of 2020 for $3,000 less than it even is now with the discounts. Bigger picture, Tesla prices are still high, and you got to think costs are back to where they were back then with commodity prices. if not even lower now. And you'll see here, I took a little screenshot. The Model 3 Standard Range Plus in Canada here is 55,000. When we bought the Model 3 Standard Range Plus, it was 52 and change. We paid for black, but that aside, the standard base model was 52 some odd K. So it's $3,000 still less than what it is at right now. Now, first of all, this makes me really happy because under 55,000 now this qualifies for the federal and provincial EV tax credit that Canada gives again. So this is massive. And then also I go on to say I should have sold it. I tweeted out in August of last year. Used car prices are still so high. I did a price estimate with Canada Drives for the Model 3 and it's very tempting. Problem is, what would I trade it for? And this was the value I was getting. A 2021 Model 3 Standard Range Plus with 12,000 kilometers on it. $66,000 was my estimate. Massive, right? So do I regret not selling at the peak? Maybe a little bit. I have to be honest. So there's that. Now, going on... So let's talk stock for a second and how that relates. Obviously, margins are going to take a hit from this. And now what I'm seeing a little bit is, people start, by the way, folks, we're rallying here. Well, only negative by 2% now at this point. I know, low bar, right? But I'm starting to see some people move the goalpost, whether it's on Twitter or, folks, we are really rallying. I'm going to continue to peel this goddamn orange. Okay, sorry. 121.55. I think we're about to go green. Okay, whatever. Let me finish my thought. ADD, right? So a lot of people are kind of moving the goalpost now and saying margins never mattered. We don't care about margins. We care about EPS. And it's true that you can, because of the price cuts, and these are really, like, consumers are really happy about these price cuts, right? Unless you bought in the last month. But these price cuts now with the margins that we're seeing, obviously are going to be deflationary on margin. The question is by how much? I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, margins never mattered, but because they're going to sell so many more, they're going to make more money. That's fine and dandy, especially in a recessionary environment. I get the strategy here because there's not really a lot of good alternate options for EVs, especially at that price, at those price points now. But let's not forget, margin is what is going to allow Tesla to be able to, in the future years, still have cost certainty. If they have 10% margins this year, I don't think it's going to get that low, and I'll get into a little bit of that later. But let's say if margins were at 10%, let's say, well, then that doesn't bode well for the long-term future growth of those vehicles as we want to hit 20 million units a year. Now, I don't think margins get that low, but the price drop really does question how low margins are going to get. Now, smarter people than I, for example, Matt Smith, from Good Soil, on Twitter, he just tweeted, I think, saying he's run the calculations and the margins are nowhere. The margin shrinking is nowhere near what he originally thought. So I'll kind of reserve my judgment on that from I think his Tuesday stream. So we'll see. But there's no doubt that these are going to be. Now the question is, how much do we see costs go down, right? Because as you scale, you get economies of scale, of course. As we talk about new factories coming online, we talk about giga castings. We talk about 4680s and the cost there, new manufacturing techniques, becoming more efficient there. Of course, there's going to be some cost dampening this year, commodity prices going down. But for us to go out and say already that we know margins are going to be stable, I think it's a bit of a Bikram yoga stretch right now. We have to wait for the numbers to come in. And the soonest we're going to hear about that is going to be April's earnings call. So we'll see. For Johan, thank you for the super chat, my friend. You're a very appreciated super chatter of the channel. Sold my Y recently. Now a new one is cheaper. I'm telling you, you priced this out perfectly. Todd says you should poll out expected annual volumes down. That's a good idea, Paul. Or Todd, not Paul. I should poll it out. Let's do that. Let me make a poll here. Start a poll. 2023 Tesla unit volume. Let's do 1.7 to 1.9. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna have to I'll put a bearish one in there for my bearish friends. 1.4 to 1.7, 1.7 to 1.9, 1.9 to 2.1. How's that? 1.9 to 2.1. And these are all million, of course. I feel like that needs to go unsaid. And then I'm going to do 2.1 million plus. Okay. I threw the poll in the chat. Give it a second. It'll pop up. What are you guys saying about the margins? What are you guys saying about the margins? If you guys have more of a specific one, feel free to throw in the chat. 121.69 sitting on Tesla. SLPC says Sasha made a great. I've seen his channel before. I don't watch a lot of his videos religiously, I will say, but I have seen his channel before. He's had some really good takes. So he says he had a great live stream about how effect on margins. He thinks they'll actually go up. I'll have to watch it to analyze it, but is it not a bit of a stretch? Maybe I'm totally off on this, but isn't it a bit of a stretch for us to say margins are going to go up? We just saw prices go down 20%. Like, it seems like we're stretching a little bit for that. And I'm just being honest. I'm trying to set expectations a little bit, even for myself, that, you know, how can we get any immediate piece of news and immediately the effect is margins are going to go up? Margins are going to take a hit. That much to me is guaranteed. The question is, how much does that offset by massive amount of sales coming in, right? Okay, so DRK says, my estimate of the margin hit was a maximum of 5%. If it was 5%, I think that's fair. And that's not a lot, to be honest. Christian says 4 down 5.4%, GM down 5%. Good point. Let me pull that up on Webull here. EVs, let's sort by change. Rivian down 8% on this news. 4 down 5%, GM down 5%, Honda down 2.5%, Lucid down 2.5%, and Tesla only down 1.5%. Let's see if we can get green here. I'm going to continue eating my juju. Danny, thank you, my friend. Hello from I think you meant Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong, he says. Shout out, Danny. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. What time is it in Hong Kong? Okay, let's see what the poll says. Okay, so close to 50% of everyone currently voting on this poll say 2.1 million plus. I mean, I guess that makes sense considering how bullish everyone. I mean, I guess we are Tesla bulls, so it's going to be a little bit skewed. Coming in second is 1.9 to 2.1 million. It's just essentially a trickle down effect in terms of the poll results here. So 121.57 sitting on Tesla. We got a lot of content to go through today, but someone's saying that Colin Rush is on CNBC right now. So I'm trying to open up my CNBC to see if it's worth us bringing that in. Hold on one second. Let's see. Derek says, don't forget there is a tax credit on used vehicles as well, and then we also get one of those for batteries and solar. That's all. That's actually a big portion of the wild card, right? Is like how much of the IRA does Tesla already get from battery production in Nevada? That's the question. And I guess someone's probably already measured that, but that's a great point, Derek. Let me see if Colin Rush is really on CNBC here. Okay, let's see. Let's put the volume. Hold on.
Report here about where margins shake out. You know, historically, the company's pointed to, Porsche-like margins in the mid-30s as
Can you guys hear that?
for the company. And certainly, this is a process of industry building and a technology node change. And so there's going to be some ups and downs here. I think we want to see where it's going to level out here in the next, quarter or two, and start thinking about what this looks like long term as some of the new models get into the market. But I think that we're going to see a little bit of a dip on this pricing dynamic, and we'll see things start to level out by the second half of the year for the company.
Sounds like you're giving them benefit of the doubt. Colin, thank you for joining me with the take on Tesla today, which is notably underperforming. We've got a rally here in consumer discretionary, communication services, and technology stocks. With 43 minutes left in,
it's not notably selling off. Let's be fair. 121.63 said on Tesla. I mean, the peers are down a lot more than Tesla is today. Anyways, forget about that. I will give you guys a better video here. Let's watch. No offense to anyone there, but I got a video hold on. I got a video pulled up. It's our friend Jim Cramer talking about Tesla stock, talking about the EV competition. Let's give this a listen and feedback on the way.
Tesla shares, we just showed them to you, down 6% as we head into the open 15 minutes from now. That may drag down the entire sector as well. The company cut prices on some of its vehicles in the U.S. and Europe by as much as 20%. Tesla may be looking to boost its sales this after it did fail to hit its delivery target for 2022. Still impressive, of course.
Thank you, Bobby, for the super chat.
40% year over year, Jim. But these are the key models. They now fall below the price level at which they will now be eligible, or consumers will be eligible to get some of the tax benefits available under the Inflation Reduction Act as well. So that could also stimulate sales for Tesla.
Well, let's go into this. Let's talk about the fact that, let's use Ford Motor, okay? Ford has got the F-150 and they have the Mach-E. 70% of their customers they were possible Tesla customers. The Mach-E is direct Tesla competitor to the Tesla Y that's being cross-shopped. I bring all this up because what's happening is Tesla makes about $20,000 a vehicle. So they have plenty of margin to give away to tempt people with lower price vehicles. So what they're doing is actually kind of using the old Henry Ford Model T position. They're cutting price in order to be able to keep their market share. What's interesting, David, is that therefore the margins are going down. They still make a lot of money, hence the downgrade today to sell up. Now also in California, there is a major negative for Tesla customers because big Mach-E spike there.
Tim says, oh no, Jim Cramer is bullish. It's not good.
Big Mach-E spike. So I am saying, yes, there's actual competition for the first time.
Right.
Then there's price cutting.
The Model 3, the Model Y, these are sort of some of the key ones, obviously.
Look, you compete on price. He makes plenty of money per car.
And
so he's competing on price, but the Model Y has not been updated in a long time. It's a dominant player, though.
So that's a big concern that I hear about a lot with just auto analysts, I think, is, well, these models are old. I mean, the Model Y just came out a couple years ago, but they're not refreshed. There's nothing new year to year, right? The Model Y just came out. Yeah, exactly. And, you hear this a lot. And, it's, I give the metaphor of that, that restaurant that's on the popular area of your city that only has like 4 or 5 things on its menu versus that restaurant that you go into and it's like a 4-page menu and there's like 45 things on there and there's like 4 other options for each item that you have, and that the cooks don't even know how to cook half the stuff because no one's really ordered it in so long. And in China especially, this argument I think applies a lot, or I hear it a lot from the Chinese analysts. They say that the Chinese consumer loves to get new models and they care about the new thing. But tried and true really does pay off, I think, as well. Thank you, Bobby, for the super chat. Thank you to Moore for becoming a member. And SLPC, thank you as well for the super chat, my friends.
I just think that you have to accept the fact that the world has changed.
You mentioned
Tesla has real competition.
They have real competition, but to what extent has that already?
Okay, also, sorry, I don't want to butt in too much, but they have real competition. But how many units is really the Mach-E doing a year? And does that even sniff what Tesla does? That's the real question, right? The Mach-E, yes, I think it's an okay car. I think it's decent. I want them to succeed, but they're not doing anywhere near the volume that I think people are worried about when they talk about someone like Tesla. So let's not get that mixed up here.
Already been reflected in a stock that, as we know, is down some 70% from its high.
That
Jim.
is, normally I would like to be able to opine on that better. A lot of this, I think, rests on the fact that these were overnight price cuts.
Yeah,
overnight. So it's going to cause you to it takes your breath away a little.
How else do you cut prices? Do you cut them over a week? Of course, they're going to be overnight price cut. I'm not sure what I just don't get it. Look, people are used to the old legacy model, of course, not with direct to consumer, but through dealerships. Or, there's a new model coming out, right? So, for example, the 2022 or the 2023 Model Y Tesla will start at X price and it comes out this month. That's not how Tesla operates. In fact, we're actually seeing rumors out today on Twitter, they're unverified still, that there's hardware 4 coming into these cars, and maybe that's why they're trying to liquidate all the inventory. So,
and again, to your point, you have sort of, as always, differing views. Guggenheim does downgrade Tesla to a sell, saying the numbers are far too optimistic. Ahead of, we still haven't gotten the fourth quarter report. We got deliveries and production, but we didn't get the actual earnings report from Tesla. And they say $89 is their price target. Why? Well, sizable gross margin miss in the fourth quarter
of 650 basis points
by the dilutive impact of price reductions already, and they feel like this year's estimates need a reset. They're well below consensus on gross margin at Guggenheim. That's at least a part of it. Same time.
We'll go through a couple of notes here that I have lined up, Morgan Stanley also being one of them.
Dan Ives says, hey, you know what? This price cut is going to actually stimulate a lot of demand, and we see a higher expectation of revenue growth.
Okay, the problem with Dan Ives' analysis is what have we never had to see? We've never had to see a price cut to stimulate demand. This company had this field to itself. I think that I'm debating in my head what you said, which is, isn't this why the stock is falling so much? But the one thing that we don't know is, what is he doing right now?
What's Elon doing?
Yeah.
At this very moment, I'm not sure.
Well, what is the possibility that he's...
In this very moment, I'm not sure.
He's not as focused on his car company. I mean, remember Jack Dorsey? The downfall of the Jack Dorsey empire was the fact he was doing 2 jobs. This man's doing 3 jobs. And I am sure that...
Well, he was doing 3 jobs before Twitter. Technically, you can say he's doing 4 jobs now. Does that exude more confidence? Maybe.
Twitter is taking some of his time.
There's no doubt that Twitter is taking some of his time. He's only one man. He probably only sleeps 4 hours a day.
Have you been in the BMW?
What?
EV?
No.
It's...
What? Whoa. I thought I was scatterbrained. How did we just go from Tesla yearly deliveries to margin to Elon having 4 jobs to BMW? What?
Unbelievable. Have you been in the Mustang Mach-E?
I haven't, Jim. No.
It's incredible. Have you been in the GM Hummer?
I have not, Jim.
It is outstanding. I always hated every other EV. Suddenly, I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing with an ICE?
Really?
Okay.
But yeah, because these car companies are delivering EVs that make me say, you know what? This is no longer Tesla's. They still are the dominant player. But the other ones that are coming out, wow.
And that is the key consideration for investors.
I should put that on a shirt. Competition is coming. Look, I'm going to say something right now. First of all, that was a hilarious exchange. But let's not get it twisted. As Tesla fans or Tesla bulls, we want EV proliferation, or at least we should. And I agree, the Mach-E is a decent car. XYZ competition is a decent car. But again, it goes back to how much volume are these guys doing, and if they tapped out their production, where would they lie at? The problem is already profitability. How can they continue to ramp up? So, by the way, that was hilarious. It's just, yeah, I don't know. This is Cramer randomly jumping between thoughts. I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what I do too. So I get that. But yeah, they had to sneak that little ads in. But look, the Hummer, great. But how many can they make 1 million of those next year? This year? Can they make 100,000 of them? These are the questions, right? These are the questions that we have. So let me read some comments out. Everybody loves these non-Tesla EVs that nobody can get their hands on them. That's it. I talked to someone who pre-ordered what's the Hyundai, which one is it? Is it the Ioniq 5? Maybe it's the Ioniq 5. Maybe it was not the Kona. Which one was it? Okay, it was one of these. It might have been Ioniq 5. I actually don't remember which one it was. But I don't think it was Ioniq 5, because this guy told me EV6. Maybe it's the EV6. Hold on. Because this guy told me this is like, oh, it looks like a Ferrari. Maybe it's the EV6. I don't know. Maybe it's the EV6. Actually, maybe. But he said it looks like a Ferrari. I was like, okay, yeah. You know what? It is the Kia EV6 electric crossover. And he told me he ordered this thing. I talked to him maybe 8 months ago, and he said that there was a 2-year wait list. And I talked to him a couple months back, and he said he's waiting still to hear back by end of this year. And that's not because they're selling 2 million of these cars. It's because they don't have production for these, and they probably don't even care to, because they're losing money on these, right? So, okay, let's hold on. Let me pull this up right about now. Okay, so last week I asked you guys and girls any ideas for merch, and I said, look, I needed to up my merch game. And you guys gave me a couple ideas. I ran with one of them. I didn't run with one, I'll be honest. The one that I didn't run with just yet is Tesla bag holder. I didn't run onto that one. Hold on, let me just change my currency here to make it more palatable. So I ran with presenting, sitting on Tesla. Yes, you guys make fun of me all the time with this slogan. I thought this was a great idea. I forget, shout out whoever suggested this. I actually don't remember who did. But this is embroidered on, it's white on a black dad cap, sitting on Tesla. It's nice. Actually, hold on. Look, I'm not used to plugging stuff. So I threw the link in the chat there. I made a couple of these. Okay. So I'm just going to show you all of them, I guess, for now. And by the way, make sure you use coupon Juju. I enabled it. If it's not enabled already, let me know, for 10% off for watching the stream. Thank you. So this is sitting on Tesla. It's embroidered on. It's white. I can change the colors, but I know Ekapop says Tesla bag holder with some jujus in the bag. I know. I need to do that. Okay, so hat looks good. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's one of them. Another thing I added on. A couple of other, to keep it just a little bit more easier, was a t-shirt. Make sure this is US dollars. Sitting on Tesla. Someone said I should put sitting on Tesla. Maybe I should do that. And a sitting on Tesla mug as well. So have at her. Shout out to you guys if you want to support the channel. No pressure to do so, but 10% off with coupon code Juju. Here I am turning into a salesperson. I do look. I will agree though, Ekapop. Your idea. So right now I have a little fanny pack that just has a Juju on it, right? But I think you're right. A Tesla bag holder on this might be a good idea. And stay tuned for that maybe next week. I don't know. Maybe. If there's enough, if you guys think that's a good idea, let me know. But I think on the fanny pack, that would be actually pretty funny. But my favorite one, I'll be honest, was the dad cap. So it'll take some time to get to me, but I'll be wearing it. Paul says, I'm not used to plugging things. I thought your day job was marketing. That's true. At least with marketing, you're just running ads, right? You're kind of faceless. So, but personally speaking, you know what? It is ironic too, because I guess you could say I'm in sales as well. But I'm not used to plugging things on the channel. It's not really what I do. It barely even say subscribe. But hit subscribe while you're. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, so go check that out. Shout out to you guys if you guys want to support the channel. No pressure. 122.04 sitting on Tesla. There it is. 1.23% down on the day. You guys are giving me some good ideas here. Hold on. What about a snail with the competition is coming on it? And then throw that on a hat. That's a good idea. It says love sitting on Tesla bag holder, but with big money bag. That's a good one. I'm gonna write these down. You know, I spent so long trying to think of these ideas, and you guys are just throwing me the bone. Hold on. I have a list, believe it or not. We're rallying. I like that one too. We're rallying, folks. Okay, the competition is coming. Okay, last one. Okay, wrote it down. The other one, by the way, that I had, let me know if this is a stupid idea or not. By the way, I love that I can just throw feet. Like, this is what I love about live streams. We can just shoot it back and forth, you know, whatever. But another idea I had was things my kid believes in, or things basically this is the gist of it. Things that we all hopelessly believe in are, Santa Claus, robo-taxis for now, and the Fed pivot. I wanted to mix that into some sort of a shirt. Tesla money bag holder. How about one of those money bag guns? Blake says, what do you do when you max out your TSFA? Unfortunately, Blake, here's the problem I had. Last year, I contributed to my TSFA thinking, Tesla's probably close to the bottom with buying shares early in the spring, throughout the summer. And now I can't take any of those losses on my taxes this year, unfortunately. So I don't know. I'm the wrong guy to ask. Yashu Crest suggests a Tesla bag holder instead of holder. Well, that was my idea. Tesla bag. Oh, I actually like Tesla Q Nothing Burger. How about just Nothing Burger? That's actually Nothing Burger has been suggested. I think people have even sent me designs. Anyways, folks, I'm not very good at let's be honest, producing stuff for this channel in terms of merch, but I'm trying to get better at it. And my goal is every week I'll release a new edition. I'll come to the show with it. So that's my plan at least. Make sure you use coupon code Juju. Actually, you know what I'll do too? I'll what I probably should do, the prudent thing to do, because people can't scroll up or down, is I will pin the message. Okay, let's get back into Tesla talk. Blake says, I'm in the same boat. My understanding is that you can't write off loss when it's tax-free. Yes, exactly. So whatever losses that I accumulated in the TSFA, unfortunately, are not tax loss harvestable. And the bigger mistake that I made even, Blake, on this was I converted some Tesla like USD shares into this Tesla Neo CDR conversion tool that I talked about, right? And so basically what I did there was, I was going to currency hedge, right? In case the US dollar dropped. Yeah, right. US dollar kept rising. And then on top of that, I realized only after I bought in my TSFA, and remember, you can't trade in your TSFA, that these guys don't even have options. So, I was kind of pissed. I was like, man, like all of this stuff that I've done, now I can't even run options on this. So, whatever. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. 122.01 sitting on Tesla. Let's go into our next piece of news here. It's a nice looking cap. Nicejuju.com. Use coupon code Juju. Okay. I already talked about this one. Folks, have you seen this? Joe Tegmeyer. Friday the 13th. Don't get distracted by all the price cuts on Tesla. The real story here is the assembly of the 9K ton Gigapress. Here are a few images to get you started. Check this out. I love how the windows are completely open. Anyone could just start taking photos. Look at this. So we're starting to see some progress of the Gigapress here in Austin. Cybertruck's starting to get real. It really is. Thoughts on this, folks? Let me know. But yeah, this is massive. Dukin says no options might have been a good thing. That's a good point. Actually, that's a really good point. But my plan was to sell premium, to be fair. But I guess you're right. I probably would have been tempted to buy premium. But no, my plan was to sell premium against the shares. But we need to break 126. No, the level to watch today for me is 120. Actually, hold on. Let me pull up my trading view and just pull it up. Unfortunately, the levels that we're sitting on Tesla are quite far and away for the moment. Let me change this. What happened? Who touched my trading view? Appearance? Blah. Oh, okay. Hold on. Got it right there. So let's change this to hourly. Let's pull us up, and I'd like to pull up the super trend indicator just so we can see what levels to look at. So the good news is on the hourly, we're under a buy signal, under trading, under super trend. And that has been a buy signal since our gap up on the 6th of January. So we've kept on the hourly on the buy. On the daily, though, I think we're still in a sell. And we're still in a sell signal up until we breach 140. Let's just call it 140. 137.52 to be exact at the moment. So, I mean, for context, for anyone wondering, like, I like to use the super trend indicator just to get a general sentiment guide of what levels are good on the upside. So you'll see here, we haven't cracked into a buy signal really since September. So if you had followed this super trend indicator and you, let's say, sold or didn't get bullish post September 22nd last year, it would have been a pretty good trade. The only time really it's been bullish was mid-July up until the September run-up, I guess, if you want to even call it that. So Again, for us to go bullish on the daily, we're looking at a 140 break still. On the weekly, does anyone care? Weekly, forget about it. It's a 200 level. And then intraday, 10-minute is probably the shortest time period that I'll look at. The 10-minute has been a buy signal since this morning. So keep that in the back of your head. Okay. 122.13 sitting on Tesla. Oh, you know what I'll do as well? I'm also going to throw in, if anyone wants to come on stream, ask a question, give a comment, talk Tesla, feel free to. I just put the link into the description there. Thanks for the ideas on all the merch. I'm going to go through the chat later. Okay. And I had a couple questions here lined up as well. Are we going to go green here, folks? Are we going to do it? Yes or no? Throw in the chat. Do we go green here? Let's see. Where was the question about 4680s? Petru says, I thought Cybertruck needed 4680s. That's my understanding too. I don't think 2170s will cut it. It's mine. At least that's my non-expertise opinion on this. But you know, they're at a 1K rate per week out of Cato and Austin, maybe combined. If Cybertruck did 500 a week to start off, I'd be quite happy. You know, if Cybertruck did 1 a week to start this week or this month, I'd be so stoked. So, you know, yes, they might not be able to ramp just yet fully, but yes. Okay, do we finish green? What are you guys saying? Yes. Yes. Someone says power hour. Yes. Yep. Green. Okay. No. Jeremy says no. Fair enough. Ever so slightly. That's kind of my guess, actually. Yes. No. John says no, not today, but the fact that we aren't down 10% is a big win. 100%, John. Marco's already throwing in his guess. Wait a couple seconds for the guess, please and thank you. Just because in 5 minutes, I'll have a better chat log to go through. Green. We need a big 125. Ron says, reminder, U.S. market is closed on Monday. Thank you, Ron. Yes, is it Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Right? That's what it is? Forgive my ignorance as a non-American. 122.12 sitting on Tesla. Do we go green today? My answer is, it's a pretty strong chart. I'm going to say yes. We have 20 minutes, $1.50 to go. I'm going to take a bite of this juju. I think we're going to go green. That was really sour. Semi is using 2170s to my knowledge. Yes. But Cybertruck is, I mean, Cybertruck is different though. It would need the structural battery pack, the 4680s as well, with the efficiency that it would need. No. Again, I don't know. That's just been my general understanding. I think even at Battery Day, or the last day that Tesla held, they talked about Cybertruck, and they specifically said 4680 on it. All right. So, hold on 1 second. Yahoo. Tesla. No one wants to come on stream? Come on stream, folks. Someone do it. Give us your thoughts. I'm going to pump up this StreamYard link again. Sweet Hunt says, been totally silent regarding Optimus. Any thoughts? I think they're just going to continue to work in the background, honestly, because you know, we don't have a financial modeling on it. I'm sure the engineering team is going to continue to work on the background, but you know what? For me, I don't have the mental. It's not in the front of my mental when I think about Tesla yet, in terms of revenue. You know, just yet. I mean, if you asked Elon, he would easily say this is the biggest thing they're working on, right? So, and again, a lot of this is like ignorance on my side. I just don't really know too much about the bot and the specifics around revenue or modeling that out just yet. Yes, Ibrahim, we just actually went over this about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Joe says, any thoughts? Okay, Joe is bringing up a spicy topic here. Any thoughts on getting a retail investor on the board? Does it require 3% share ownership? No, I think anyone can get elected on the board. It doesn't matter. Board seats usually are honorary. They're very strategic. They're meant for long-term growth of the company, to maximize shareholder value, to increase networking, to increase access to capital, to increase investor confidence, usually institutional investor confidence. For example, like I think there's a BlackRock member on the Apple board of directors, right? My thoughts on getting a retail investor on the board are very anti. Nothing against anyone, not trying to shame anyone, not trying to throw stones. I just do not think any retail investor needs to be on the Tesla board. The Tesla board is not for appeasing retail investors or shareholders. It's for, again, like I said, the long-term growth of the company and to provide strategic business value to that. And I just fail to see how any retail investor would provide that. That being said, can the board of directors be more vocal, have more communication? Maybe not, because remember, Tesla doesn't board of directors you don't usually hear from. But can Tesla have a PR team, a communications team? Perhaps. Maybe that makes sense. And to be fair, they're doing that with the investors, day on March 1st. So that's my thoughts. Again, I'm not. Where's Gonzalez comment here? 100%. The board of directors is for business and not for stock price, regardless of whether that it seems like the current board is out to lunch. Yes, two things can be true. You can disagree with the current board of directors on Tesla or what their strategy is or decisions they've made, and you can simultaneously say that doesn't require us to look at a retail investor to all of a sudden want to join the board. What is a retail, like, let's be fair, and this is nothing against anyone. What is anyone that is a retail investor on Tesla going to provide Tesla on the board of directors that they don't have any already? Is it network? Is it, I just don't know. I just don't know. Can Tesla open up a communications team? Yeah, maybe. And maybe that appeases a lot of people that want that sort of communication. But board of directors, like we're talking a very high up position. Like these guys are voting and girls are voting for the long-term growth of the company. Okay, we got Griffin on here. I don't see his camera though. Let me just take a look here. 1 second. Oh, there he is. Hey man, how's it going?
There you go. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me just display your name here for everyone.
Yeah.
Hit me. By the way, I like the Christmas tree in the back. I still
Thank
got
you.
mine
I know. I haven't taken it down yet.
No, me neither.
Season.
Someone told me, by the way, this is your time, but I'm going to interrupt for a hot second.
Go for it.
Someone told me I'm a real lazy person because I haven't taken down my Christmas tree, and I want to get the chat's reaction on this. Should we have already taken down our Christmas decorations by January 13th as we sit here? Yes or no?
So I would have said yes, except I'm working full-time overtime in a master's. So getting that like 30 minutes to take it down, I'm gonna give that excuse. There you go.
I don't have that excuse, but I'll think of something. What do you got for us, Griffin?
So the question was, I love the price cuts for consumers, right? But for us that already has it, it's kind of a hurt to our bottom line for our car value, right? And a big thing for me was my FSD value on my car. So I'm looking at, a performance Model 3 to kind of do like an upgrade. But basically, I'm taking that with a grain of salt in the fact that I could transfer, it'd be a great deal, but my FSD does not transfer. So if I wanted to get my FSD back in the same car, it would be an extra, 15 grand now, where I paid 8 grand when I bought my standard range Model 3. So I think that's kind of like creating a barrier to entry of people that, are really committed to the company, that early on bought FSD, and now they want to buy and want to upgrade a new vehicle. Because you could have a Model 3 standard range that's like 6 years old. If people are ready they're through their loan, right? They're ready for like a new car, but they kind of feel locked down with the FSD they have on their current vehicle.
And that's because you bought it at what price?
8K.
And now it's how much in US dollars?
15K.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically now when you're looking to sell, no one is wanting to pay you for what it's worth on that, right? On the 15.
Right, but I'm in beta. I've been beta for like a year now, right? And like I love the software. I want to use. I use the software every day to go to work, right? It's like become a thing that's really like I wouldn't love the car as much, right? If I didn't have the software on it. It's something I want to keep. But if I look to upgrade, I mean 15 grand is a hefty, hefty price tag. So if they did some, I mean, you don't have to do like a dollar transfer, but from Tesla's perspective, if I traded in my standard range, they can take that FSD off and put it back on, right? Charge that back on, right? So I feel like there should be some incentive program because I feel like that could unlock a lot of demand for them and people that want to upgrade, but they would lose the features that they already paid for. So
yeah, I guess, they would probably tell you just subscribe on your next car, like just pay $199.
Yeah, I do think the subscription's going to go away.
Really?
Yeah, I think at some point the subscription is going to go away. Once it becomes like feature complete, it's not going to be. They're going to want you to pay upfront instead of pay the monthly for it. So
really, because I actually think the exact opposite. I think if I'm Tesla and I have full self-driving locked in and it works, and why would I not want people to pay in perpetuity, like forever in their lives, instead of paying a one-time license? No.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I don't know for the hardware. I don't know if the paying the monthly locks you into, anything they need to do on the hardware side, or if that like guarantees you FSD for your car forever, right? Where you might just be paying for that 1 month. So I guess when I did it, they didn't have any subscription. It wasn't even an option.
Yeah,
for me.
right.
So
that was a couple years back when you bought it, right?
Yeah, I locked in a year and a half ago, and then I got it in like April or something like that. So
yeah. This is one of those gripes that people have had with Tesla for a long time, and I think that's why they launched the subscription. Even is like, oh well, you can now get it. But yeah. By the way, when you look to go sell your car, let's say, are people willing to pay you for what the FSD is worth today? And are you? No. So are they willing to pay you at least what you paid for it on FSD?
I think to the wider market, unless you're selling it to someone that really knows what's going on, I don't think the wider market even cares that you have it or not. I mean, if you go to a used car site in the United States and go put your car up, like it doesn't even have FSD as like a option to write down, like a checkbox that like, you have FSD, right? Like it doesn't even show up on those websites for selling. So I think really the best way to do it is just trade it back into Tesla whenever you get a new one. I think that's kind of like the only way to go about it, because I don't think people value the FSD like big investors, and if they do, they would have already bought a car that has it. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So I guess I'm not seeing the FSD value appreciation that you would like to see that goes along with the price that they've increased it to. But I guess the idea is that comes when I can let this car just go, right? I go to work and send the car off, right? So that's kind of holding out for that value still. So
yeah, that's too bad. Maybe eventually.
Yeah, one day.
Right on. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. No problem.
Thoughts. Thanks.
Take care. Alrighty, 1:22 sitting on Tesla here. We got 10 minutes left here till close. But before I bring on the next guest, I'm just going to tell everyone, throw your Tesla closing price guesses in the chat. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under to win the virtual Juju prize. And if anyone guesses it on the dot, by the way, I'm going to check, because if don't be guessing like at 12:59 or something, because I think a couple weeks ago I almost got bamboozled by someone that guessed a minute before close. There's no virtual Juju that way. But let's bring in our next guest, Mats from Stockholm, Sweden. How's it going, my friend?
It's good. I'm Mr. Sweethunt, so you know which one it is.
Oh, so shout out to you then. I think you were sending me all the pictures of Photoshops and stuff on my Twitter.
Just tell me what you need, man. Yes, it's okay. Just regarding Griffin's problem, I think that they should do as when you buy a new cell phone, like your Apple ID, your software and apps should follow. And I think FSD should follow as well.
That's a good idea.
Because if you're in a family and you want to have 2 cars and want to use FSD, then you buy it like an extra. Yeah. But why stop the user using FSD? And the more people that sees it and drives it and experience it,
right?
That's my view on it, you know?
That's a good idea.
It should follow the user, because the car knows which user is sitting in the car, which one is driving. It knows, you know?
Yeah.
So
the only
Elon,
issue there
please.
might be like, but the issue there might be if you buy a Model S, let's say an old Model S, and or you buy a Model 3 today, it has FSD, it has all the hardware, and then now you buy an older Model S and it doesn't have the hardware on it, but you paid for it. Now it's kind of like, they have to upgrade you, or maybe it's not compatible. There could be some issues that
I
way.
think it's the same thing as you buy an Apple. In like the model is going to get old, and then it's not going to work with software. So you not need to buy the iOS or OS or whatever it is. You need to buy it again if it's an old.
It's just
So
that's
I
true.
think they should take it from the Android and the iOS platform just to follow the ID of the user. Honestly,
that's a good
because the last thing you want to do with people buying and paying $8,000 for a software is piss them off if they want to buy a new car. Then give them like a possibility to update instead, and not paying the full price, just the like whatever
price,
you bought, your price you paid before, and then you just match it up with the daily price. That's what I'm thinking. And also, as I'm from Europe, Sweden, we have an interesting situation, because as the American tax credit starts, all the European car manufacturers are having issues in the States. And also the European OEMs want EU, the European Union, to create a tax credit of their own. And this is interesting, because what the issue we have in the States is that it's the credit is actually just for saving the OEMs, because you just put a small battery and you will get these hybrids, and you will get the credit. I think that the tax credit for EVs in Europe would be much more, let's say, the interest is to push battery EVs instead in Europe. So
Instead
I
of
really
plugins,
wish that they're going to do that instead of doing this, let's say BMW or Volkswagen or stuff like that.
Because right now, could you not make money if you imported into, or you bought in the US, got the tax credit, and then imported into Europe? Maybe there's some margin or some arbitrage there.
Issues are that shipment ain't free. And
that's true.
The COVID just it screw everything. Like I'm working with a company with shipments from Asia, and I think the price like 10 doubled or something like that for one container. So nothing like that. But a question that I have, as Canada and rumors are going around about Canada factories, what do you think as you're not living in the States? What do you think about like Canada?
I think, first of all, I'm obviously going to be biased when I talk about Canada. I'm going to say, oh, Tesla should come here. But one thing that Canada doesn't have going for it is the exchange rate benefit. We're literally 70% of our population lives within an hour of the US border, something crazy stat like that, right? And all Tesla has to do is cross that imaginary line that exists, and they can get access to all the human capital up here that they need, and at 30% of a discount because of exchange rate. Canada's also in the east really rich in natural resources. You talk about mining, lithium refineries, maybe even. So that makes sense on that side of the thing. But the more I even think about it, maybe Mexico makes more sense, because Mexico is probably, it's someone said the Joe Rogan podcast said capital in China and Mexico is 1/3 of the price of capital in China at the moment, and more skilled apparently. That's what this expert on Joe Rogan said. So
I think it will be easier to fill all the shifts with workers as well.
Right.
As like in Sweden, like working night, you need to pay the double salary for less time. But one question that I have also, and after that, guys, I'm off. But one question and a big problem we have in Sweden is that companies are leasing cars for us workers in Sweden.
Okay.
And the biggest miss that we have regarding the Teslas is the price settings. Because for companies to get a lease per, like a sales guy that needs to travel, around the country, and this is something that the company pays. The price change has made a lot of companies very disappointed on Tesla in Sweden, because every end of the year, the Swedish leasing contracts end. So we have an issue. How is it in Canada? Are people using their private cars, or how?
For work?
But at work, if you're traveling.
Oh, yeah. From my experience, the company will just pay you cash based on what your car, or basically based on miles, like X amount of dollars per mile that you drive or kilometers that you drive. But obviously, like pest control companies, plumbing companies, these guys they lease out their vehicles and they just give it to staff and they can just use it. So, but I'm not sure we have the end of the year thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, we have like leasing is always when you need to, you only get to keep your car 2 or 3 years, then you need to leave it as like before the leasing value of the car goes too low. And then as the Swedish financial year ends in December, we need to have our new leasing deals made before the end of the year, and we're going to see it. But it's interesting because if you're using a Tesla, right, you get paid per miles you drive, right? So Tesla is actually a good deal for you in Canada.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and by the way, we have a lot of tax incentives here as well. If you drive a zero emission vehicle, you can write off a large percentage of your vehicle in the first year as a business, up to 100%, versus versus other CCA for other ICE vehicles is like 30% first year. I forget. I'm not an accountant, so I don't know. But there's a lot of incentives here for tax wise. But that's an interesting thing about Sweden. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and now they ended the credit that was $5,000 before.
In Sweden?
Yeah. So last year it ended for EVs, but now we hope that due to the European and the American tax credit, they're gonna start a new one, and hopefully we can push Tesla a little bit up in the leasing deals now with the new prices.
Interesting perspective. Thank you for that, Matt. I didn't know that.
Problem. Yeah, cool.
Thank you. Shout out to Matt. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, man.
We have one more. Yeah, thank you. And we have one more guest here. But before that, I'm going to try to find the winner of the Tesla closing price guessing game. 122.40 is the closing price sitting on Tesla here. We're going to continue the conversation. Don't leave. Don't go anywhere. Let me just find the winner here. Maybe he actually came pretty close at 122.44. Hold on. Let me just find the winner. See, this is the thing. I'm not very good. Someone told me that I should open up a Google Forms and like set this thing up, and I tried to. Steffens came pretty close at 42 cents. But you know what? Hadouken probably knows the winner by now already. Hold on, let me just scroll down. I don't think anyone came. I think everyone overshot this one. Let's see here. So Pietri came 122.12. Let's see here. Who else came close? Andrew was over. Steven was over. Pauline Chan. Okay, I like it. Hopefully I'm saying that right. That is Pauline. 122.31. I think that might be the winner for the day. I think it is. Cindy came pretty close. Oh, Digital, you were a penny over. Price is Right rules got you. DRK at 122.04. Martin at 19.12.45. Oh, that was over. That's our winner for the day. I believe it is. Pauline Chen. Shout out to you, Pauline. Oh, hold on. We got an exact winner. 122.40. Eric DeWallace. Shout out to Eric. Wow. How did I miss that? Sorry. I can't. I made everyone think Pauline won, and then all of a sudden I just gave it away. Eric, shout out to you. You are the winner for the virtual Juju Guy gang Price is Right rules. Let's talk more Tesla. We got our last guest up here, Donald. Longtime supporter of the channel. Appreciate you watching, Donald. Sorry, I just threw you on screen there. How's it going, my friend?
Good. Just a real quick thing with this price drop, I haven't heard anyone talk about the margins and stuff like that, what the new calculation would be and all that stuff. So I took the liberty of, well, first of all, like Ford and GM and stuff, they're like, what, 3, 4, 5% gross margin? You know, they're not making any money on an EV.
Might be a little bit higher, but yeah, but they're yeah, GM might be the highest, I think around 12-ish or something. Yeah.
So looking at the Model Y price, well, it was $64,000, and assuming about a 25% margin, the new price would make it about 10.4% just on that. So it's industry leading still, but that is for the same exact manufacturing that they've been doing for the last year. Okay. And they always talk about removing parts and labor and welds, and you know, the Giga press is doing this, and efficiency. If so, that's a $48,000 cost to build the thing at and a $53,000 price for a 10.4% margin, right? If they are more efficient,
is that gross that you're calculating, or operating margin or net margin?
Well,
just so I know.
Well, it's like it costs $48,000 to build the car and $53,000 to sell the car. You know, whatever that is.
So net. Okay. So all in. Okay, got it.
Okay. If they are able to find just 6% efficiency and make the car for $45,000, that brings the margin up to 17.8%. So 10.4% to 17.8%. That's huge. You know, if they had taken out like a couple $3,000 from their cost of manufacturing the stuff, and people are talking about materials prices going down, Giga presses coming along, you know, FSD being adopted, all these other things, but just this one little bit of efficiency change is significant for the margins, you know. So yeah, we could talk about all the other crap, but efficiency, right?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
That's about all I wanted to say. You know, everybody out there in Tesla land, hi, and thanks for being here, dude.
Yes,
you rock,
absolutely.
Yasu, and everyone else in the chat. This is awesome.
Thank you, Donald.
Okay,
appreciate
thanks.
that. No,
Bye.
that's awesome, and I like how simple that you kept it. Just baseline. You know, at the end of the day, don't worry about all the little things. Just efficiency. I like it.
Yep.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Donald. Thank you for coming on. You know what? Actually, that's a really good point on the cost efficiency, because I want to pull up, if I can, Tesla's quarter four, because so what I was saying was, okay, Tesla, when we bought our Model 3, was actually cheaper than what the prices are now. Why not? Let's do Q1 2020 report and 2021, I mean, report, and let's see what the margins were on that earnings call. Let's see what the margins were. Let's see here. Oh, I want to ad blocker. Hold on, let me one sec. Okay, so Q1 2021. Let's download the shareholder deck. What was margins that quarter? Margins that quarter were 26.5%, of which regulatory were $500 million. Okay, so let's say 25% gross margins in the quarter where Tesla pricing was very similar to where Tesla pricing is today. Interesting. And remember, a lot less units sold as well in that quarter, right? That's the big thing, is that as Tesla continues to scale up these factories, the cost per unit will go down as fixed costs continue to get spread over. So that's interesting. You know, in my mental model, this might sound really bearish, but I'm really projecting like 20-ish% gross margins. You know, maybe even a little bit below that. I just don't know how much cost efficiency we'll have. And maybe I'm totally off on that, actually. Someone says that Gary Black publishes updated models for margins. Anyone know what his projection was for? Oh, Todd has it. Gary Black computed the gross margins to be around 20 to 24. Okay, so I'm kind of in that ballpark then. 20%, let's say, on the low end, X ZEV credits. Okay. 20% and Tesla grows because these prices that we're talking about, like these are very attractive prices for people to buy Teslas at. Let me see what the waiting time is. Let's see what the Model Y waiting time is. Model Y waiting time is between January and March. Was it always January and March for a long range? It's January and February here for performance. And for Canada, it's probably the same. January and March for a long range. Okay, so there's that. Very interesting. That's ICE margins, Yash. Yeah, no, I get it. But look, when Tesla drops prices by 20% on some cars, you remember any price drop is straight off of margin, right? Like that's just the way math will work. If you build a car for 40 and you sell it for 50, there's $10,000 worth of margin. If you discount it by $10,000 of margin, or 10,000, that's all your margin, right? Not saying that's what happened here with Tesla, but Griffiths is the long range got kicked out to March by me as well. Okay, so there we go. Is that news? Did we just break some news here? Out to March for the long range? I guess that's good news. What's the Model 3 at? Let's just do the Model 3. Still January to February for March. It's been a long stream. January to February for the Model 3 Standard Range Plus. And I don't expect it to be any different in Canada. And just for the heck of it, let's check China as well. Let's see how they're doing in China for the Model 3. 1 to 4 weeks. It's not great. 4 weeks is better than, I think it was 1 to 2 before. What's the Model Y in China going for waiting times? Let's see here. Hey, anyone know what that inventory website was? What was it called? Wait for my Tesla. I don't have it pulled up right now. Just let me know in the chat and I'll type it in to track the US inventories. So for China Model Y, it's 2 to 5 weeks. Was this the same as it was a couple of weeks ago? Hopelessly Optimistic says, yeah, shoe margins should only improve when Tesla fully utilizes the 4680 structural platform, though. Well, 100%. I agree. The question isn't will it? The question is when, and how fast can Tesla get there, really? That's the big question. Because Q1 is, people are already expecting Q4 costs to be super low. I just don't know if that's the case, folks. So we might see lower margin than usual this quarter. In fact, I'm kind of mentally projecting that already. Oh, you know what? If people throw in links, it might get blocked in here. Okay. EV CPO 100. Thank you, Donald. Okay. Thank you, Digital. Okay. Thank you. And people throw in the URL, you could probably get blocked, but I appreciate it. I got it. Okay. So global Tesla inventory search. Is the site crashed? Has the site crashed? I have no idea. I think we might have crashed the site here, folks. I saw a Meet Kevin video today talking about margins on FSD. And to be fair, that's really the bet. And yeah, it's super slow. I'll use this time to plug Sitting on Tesla. Nicejuju.com. Link is pinned. Coupon code Juju. I saw a Meet Kevin video today talking about FSD and how he thinks like that's the margin story. And I get it because it is. If you think about, if you believe in Tesla and you believe in the software advantage, the margins on the front end don't matter if you have FSD upgrades after, XYZ upgrades after, right? But when is that going to happen? If I buy a Model 3 today, a Model Y today, am I really going to be buying FSD for it if I'm the average consumer? And even if I don't buy it, will I be subscribing to it? Maybe for a couple months. So yes, X amount of time down the line, I think FSD will be a huge margin enhancer. And maybe the plan here is, okay, Elon, and I was thinking about this. What are the pros of cutting? Like, what does this price cut signal to us? It signals that number one, Tesla is very confident in the ramp that they're obviously seeing in Berlin and Austin. Why cut prices and spur up demand so much higher, like that, so high let's say, theoretically speaking, with how competitively they're priced versus like the Camry even, if they're not confident in production, number one. Number two, obviously this might be a signal that they really believe in FSD. And obviously FSD is wide release already. But we talk about the average consumer. The average consumer is going to want to buy FSD when they can monetize it. As it stands right now, we don't know the plan for monetization of FSD. So we'll see. Electric windows were an option. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Wow. So this is, hold on. All model. How do I get to the graph? Inventory search. How do I get to the, I've only ever seen it on screenshots or someone's given me the link on it. How do I get to that? I'm trying to find the chart where they map it out, you know? Maybe it's up here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Maybe someone can DM me or something. Anyways, all good. The graph is on Twitter. Okay. If someone DMs me that, please, that would be perfect. And I'll pull that up. Okay, 122.40 sitting on Tesla is the closing price of the day. Predictions for next week. Any predictions for next week? Green, red, 5% down, 5% up. I'd love to hear it in the comments. What's the suggestion from Robert? Let's see here. I'm trying to find Robert's suggestion. Robert says, make the O in sitting on Tesla in orange. That's a good idea. Actually, I can embroider that now. That's a good idea. Maybe, okay, so next week I'll have that up for y'all. Okay, predictions for next week. 130 up, green, 25% up. V says 105 up, 138. Oh, come on. 1 second. It's a mess right now. Thank you, Matt. Actually, Matt, isn't Matt the one that made this site? Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Matt, for sending this to me. I feel like Matt is Matt not the one? We were talking about Matt in the Discord. Matt, are you the one that made this site? I think you might be. Oh yeah, it is. Mattjung.net. Thank you, Matt. Okay. Delivery data. Let's do inventory for the Model 3. Last 30 days. Let's do Model Y. Okay, so actually let's just do all. Let's see what we got. So all inventory levels for used vehicles. Shout out to you, Matt. Inventory levels, all used vehicle models, S3, X, and Y. I guess it's down a little bit, but really nothing materially. I mean, 396 to 374. Is this the best graph for me to so those are used in inventory. Okay, so this is actually the graph that I wanted. Okay. Here it is. So this is the graph, in my opinion, to watch here as we move forward. Down from 2,604 yesterday, down to now 2,429. Let's see where the trend leads us on this. So we shall see. This is the graph to watch. So I'll continue to pull this up, and I'll put this in my bookmarks now. Thank you, Matt. Look at that. Juju Gang members watching the stream, providing us info. Thank you for the value, folks. Alrighty. All right, so should we sign off? I appreciate you guys tuning in. 122.40 sitting on Tesla. An awesome end of the week stream. Maybe I'll clip out our Jim Cramer video for this weekend in case you missed it. Link in the description. Yeah, I can put the link in actually here. There you go. Should pop up. And check out the link in the pinned comment as well if you want to get your Sitting on Tesla hat. And again, if you have any merch ideas, DM me. I'll try my best not to butcher the design. All right? I can only promise so much. All right, guys. Much love. Happy Friday. Remember, like I say, every single Friday stream, turn off your phones, computers, give your mental a rest, go for a walk, go walk a dog. Like I said, go get a dog. Anyone get a dog yet? Go get a dog. Do whatever you need. Do whatever you need to recoup mentally speaking. Power up, and remember, prioritize what's important, which is not monetary stuff, but family time, working out, physical, mental health. Do whatever you need there. Okay, and remember, yes, thank you, dear K. Remember, market is closed on Monday, for better or for worse. For what it's worth, when the market's closed on Mondays, I think it's a bullish sign. Griffin bought a dog from my comments last week. All right, guys, much love. Take care. Yash signing off. If you want to support the channel, do so by buying a hat, buying a shirt, joining Discord, aka Patreon, or channel membership. Link should be in the description. $5 a month gets you into our awesome G Gang Discord. 200 plus members in there. Bring good juju if you're going to come in there. All right. Much love. Yash signing off. Peace.